Even you, master of the Knights of Ren, have never faced such a test.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Who Talks First. I'm one of your hosts, I'm CT.
I'm your other host, I'm Solo.
And today we're going to do the Resistance Arc podcast.
We're gonna do the thing.
Because the Solo trailer comes out tomorrow.
Yep.
More than likely. Ron Howard did this sneaky tweet that he was like, going back to the editing room to finish up Solo. Also, who's gonna win the Super Bowl? So, I heard rumors that it was also maybe going to premiere on Good Morning America instead on Monday, but I think for sure it's going to be during the Super Bowl.
I think the Super Bowl is gonna have a little bit more of an audience, so that's probably where it's gonna... Because it's not like they don't have the money to get the slot for the Super Bowl.
No, I think the Super Bowl slot sounds much more exciting. So probably next week we'll be about Solo. It'll probably be our Solo predictions podcast.
Yeah.
Because we have...
So hyped for that movie.
Right, Solo?
Shut up.
So yeah, Solo's coming out. So we'll probably talk about that next week. And then
I've been out.
That's true. You're out for a while now.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then Rebels comes back the week after that.
Ah, that's right.
And I
that one I'm more excited for.
Me too. And Rebels is having the airing schedule of 2 episodes a week. And so Rebels is going to be done by this time in March. Yes.
It's going to be double again?
Yep.
I kind of like that. Just because I'm like, ooh, I like double episodes.
I do too.
I don't want it to be over that quick, but I'm also
I do want to, I want to
enjoying...
spread it out. But we're going to get some cool things from the animation pipeline soon, so...
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. And other big news is that they announced the comic adaptation of The Last Jedi, which I'm telling you now, pull that for me if you can.
Yeah, I can go get it pulled.
It's not happening until May,
okay.
But comic adaptation of The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens one was not good, but I like the comic adaptations. Especially in these cases where I really like the characters, so I like just seeing them in all of these different forms. So, because soon we get the novelization. The novelization's in early March. And then the comic adaptation will be in May. I'm still praying that we get a Lego Star Wars, a Lego TFA. It's not going to be as easy because I don't feel like there were that many sequences that you can turn Lego-y.
Yeah,
but actually maybe
I think they'll still
I'm
make
lying.
it.
I hope so.
And yes, there is. Like, they'll just turn things like the whole Resistance plotline between like with Finn and Rose.
No, like that plotline will be totally fine. I'm just not totally sure how they will Legofy the Octo 2 storyline.
And they'll probably just have you training a lot.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. There was a thing that I was gonna try to apply to go to, but I forgot. That Ryan Johnson did a Q&A. Here in Los Angeles. And
you missed it!
I just forgot. So many people sent it to us, and I just forgot. Because actually the one thing I would have asked was asked, and I'm very proud of it, because Ryan Johnson confirmed I could have written down the actual quote, but I'm not going to, and so instead you're going to get my version of it. That basically, Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, was a man with a plan with Snoke.
Okay.
So
going into the throne room.
Going to the throne room, he said that Ben knew he was going to kill Snoke. He didn't know how yet, but my boy touched hands with a girl.
And had a plan.
And had a plan.
Yeah, that's
kind of
what I
we
said,
thought. Yeah. And
I don't think he had details.
No. Like, and that's what I always meant with like man with a plan.
Yeah.
Like, did he go in that room knowing he was going to kill Snoke?
Yeah.
Which by the way that elevator scene went, I had kind of thought that because when Rey was telling him that like you're not going to bow before Snoke, Kylo didn't deny that. He was like, yeah, I know that because me and you are going to take over the galaxy like right now.
Together.
So, and
we're gonna rule the world.
And then we can touch hands again, right? Canonly, this story takes place, these first 2 movies, over a week at most. So then this boy went from being, like, lifetime groomed by this man to being like, I met this girl a few days ago.
She let me touch fingers. And I'm gonna kill him.
I'm going to take over the galaxy for
All
her.
I ever needed was for somebody to reach out. I mean, that was my entire, like, thing with Naruto. I was like, all Sasuke needs is a hug, and this will, everything will be fine. And Kylo Ren proves it. You just need someone to be like, I'm here for you. And they'll be like, what? I thought I was all alone!
Nope, instead we're gonna have this really poetic, altar shot, filmed, symbolic thing where we're telling each other that you're not alone, neither are you, being like, we're not gonna leave each other. And that makes it so much more heartbreaking when she leaves him with good reason. But still, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, it hurts, but you're like, you're doing the right thing, girl. But
Ben Solo knew he was going in there to kill Snoke.
Awesome.
He could have been touching hands his whole life, and Snoke was not about that shit.
This is what you wouldn't let me do?
You wouldn't let me touch hands with girls? I could have been touching lots of girls' hands? Come on!
I could have at least been asking.
Now it's time for our commercial break.
Oh, yeah.
By today's sponsor.
You.
Me. Go to Squadron Goals on Etsy, and I have a bunch of new items, including an entire line of 12 new plushies. And the Porg plushies are back. So if you want any of those, yeah!
Now's the time to get them, and here's my, it's gonna sound biased, but it's non-biased. They're so fucking cute, guys. Especially Ahsoka. I think she's so cute, and I want 20 of her.
And also, I got a restock on the balance pins, and those are running out again, so if you want those, there you go. So this is another podcast. This is the Resistance podcast that we talked about doing for 3 weeks. It's not going to be great, because my notes include a drawing of Rey, an elf boy.
Yeah.
And some scribbles.
That Rey's really cute, though. Look at her whips.
Thank you.
They're luscious.
They are luscious.
She
just wants to smooch. With that, let us begin the Resistance podcast.
Here we go.
The Resistance storyline, which is sort of the B-plot of The Last Jedi.
We've touched on it a little bit, because we touched on Poe, right?
We touched on Poe and Holdo a little bit this week, and of course that will still come up. We probably won't talk about it too long. We're going to focus more on Finn and Rose in this episode. And the Resistance plot, it starts off, it's the beginning of the movie, and starts off with Poe Dameron kind of giving General Huggs a good time.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
So funny. And
that was the funniest opening to a movie I've seen in a long time.
It got me so pumped.
Like, I even liked that more. Thor Ragnarok was a very funny movie, but like the opening where like Thor was like spinning on the chain, it went on for a little too long and I didn't find it funny, I found it annoying. The pacing of this I thought was amazing.
It was really good. So Poe Dameron kind of goes in, he's clearing out the guns on the Dreadnought, and senses his bombers, even though good old Leia Organa is like, hey, everyone you're fucking sending in right now is gonna die. So don't do that.
Bring him back.
And Poe just turns off.
He's like, fuck, I know
No,
better.
he just turns off the messages from Leia, and he's going to basically go do whatever he wants, and sends in the bombers. All the bombers besides Paige Tico get destroyed before... I mean, Paige gets destroyed too, but not until...
But by her own hand.
But, ish.
Ish, yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Poor Paige.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to see The Last Jedi again this week. I miss it when I'm not seeing it.
I know.
And Paige had such a good character. For
like 2 seconds of screen time.
And I think she had one line. I think she says her, like, co-pilot
his name,
and that's it. And I'm already, like, very attached to her.
I know, it sucks. Because she's dead.
And, like, reading her story, and have you seen the comic art for the new The Force of Destiny Rose and Paige comics?
No.
The art is so cute.
Ah.
It's so cute. I love it. And so, with Rose and Finn's arc, we'll start, I mean, obviously Finn wakes up, and...
He's naked.
He's naked,
and
understandably his first concern is Rey. And at first, this makes more sense to me now, but at first, for a while, with the way they were promoting Finn and how he was even written in the visual dictionary, I didn't like that they made his entire character arc about Rey.
Yeah.
And I get that that's sort of the point, that he grows from that, but I think we've even talked about that a little before, but gender reversal.
Yeah.
That really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, no, because I don't like it when anyone's just an accessory to another character. That's annoying. We see it more often with females, but that doesn't mean I'm okay when it happens with males either. All your characters should be strong by themselves, and you shouldn't have to make them seem that way. It's not too hard to make a character, like, dynamic.
No, and...
Or their storyline dynamic, because, like, I like Finn as a character. And thankfully this movie did him a lot of justice, but, yeah, just the way they were promoting it, I think just because they wanted to keep so much stuff secret, made it seem really accessory-y.
Yeah, which, again, I didn't like, because the visual dictionary... I think
he's obsessed with Rey and Rey.
Like, Finn's article has 3 mentions of Rey, but Rey's article doesn't have a single mention of Finn, at least if I'm remembering that properly. Just wasn't a huge fan of how they were promoting that aspect. But again, with how they took his storyline, it did make a lot more sense with him being like, we need to find Rey. I mean, the first thing when he wakes up is clearly the last thing he remembers is being knocked out by Kylo, and he was fighting alongside Rey.
And Rey had been knocked out by Kylo previously. Because he never sees her stand back up.
No, he doesn't know. So, as far as he knows, she's
she could be dead, yeah.
She could be super deadsies. So, he's walking around in his Finn naked leaking bag. And good old Poe Dameron is the first one to come to his... Which, how many people must have been past before someone saw him?
So someone was like, what are you doing?
They're just like, let him go find Poe. Poe wants to see this.
I don't want to deal with this naked man right now.
We'll go get Poe. We were under the impression of, like, they reunite. They have the nice little scene where he asks where Rey is, and then we come back to Act 2. Leia bitch slaps Poe and says, fuck you, basically.
Yeah. You're demoted. You got so many people killed. He's like, they're heroes. She's like, they're dead.
Dead heroes.
Yeah.
And...
Cool, but we can't ever use them again.
And this is what I do like, is, like, we have dead heroes, but there was no leaders on that. And I think that speaks so heavily to Holdo's story arc. And, yeah, again, we're not going to focus a ton on Holdo, but we have to bring her up a decent amount, because she's a big part of the storyline, is that even though I'm a firm believer that Holdo did nothing wrong when it came to terms with her leadership, she knew she was the leader, and she made the sacrifice for the resistance.
Yeah.
And so even though she had done everything, in my opinion, correctly...
Me too. I same way.
She knew her place as the leader and the one to sacrifice herself for the mistakes that were made.
Right.
So she took responsibility for it. And that is the sign of a good leader.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Because anyone can send people to their death.
Yep.
But to put yourself in that position and to take ownership of that is another thing. And before it rubbed me the wrong way, this is like skipping forward a little bit, but like how all the captains just like kept going down with their ship. Why? You guys just... You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you guys just get on the thing? And it's like, oh, I think it's supposed to be symbolic of that. Like, they're taking ownership of what's happening. And you're like, okay, I guess. I still think there should be autopilot, but...
You would think. I guess...
Or a droid that can fly it, but... Okay.
3PO's not about that life. 3PO's like, get me out of here.
Absolutely not saying sacrifice 3PO. Talking about some other droid. I'm droidist.
The medical droids...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're here to save lives. So, and also the medical droids kind of freak me out.
Yeah, they're a little creepy.
Also, not resistance-based. We look at them in the visual dictionary. Snoke's little map keepers, or like
they're so...
navigators, the creepiest things. But I want to see more of them.
Me too.
They scare me, though.
They're scary, but also super cool looking.
And... So they're actually in the movie. They're in the throne room scene, but they just disappear.
Oh. Are they just there in the background?
Yeah, they're in the background when they first walk in, but then they just disappear. And now I'm even more afraid of them, even though I think that was just a continuity error. But I'm like, nope, they just scare me even
They're
more
like
now.
Death Eaters, and they can just
They're
apparate
like,
away.
Whoosh. Scary.
Anyway, back to Poe getting slapped.
Poe gets slapped. Poe gets demoted. Finn's kind of wondering if they're flying through hyperspace, how they're gonna get Rey. Leia's like, homing beacon. Hey guys, this is our second commercial interruption.
This is like a YouTube video where it's like oddly timed, and you're
It
like,
is.
wait, why here?
Why here? Because
Why now?
I have a commercial! Up on Squadron Goals, my Etsy store, you can pre-order the homing beacon pin. It's limited edition 100. I'm not making more than that because wasn't even supposed to be able to make 100. So, if you want a homing beacon pin, it's cool and it lights up. So, you have a button on the back, and it's fastened with a safety pin, so you can put on a bracelet and then light it and light your way home. And you can get it in a set as well. So, check it out. I think I'm about halfway gone, so yay.
There was that. Okay.
Let's jump forward a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Leia gets knocked unconscious through the thing. She uses the Force. I don't get people who are upset with this scene because Leia is like, we've known Leia's had the Force since Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
We've known that.
Yep.
And I understand maybe thinking the shot was a little cheesy looking.
Yeah.
I think it was cheesy looking.
Me too. I did think it was cheesy looking.
But I definitely don't think, but people are so mad that she can use the Force.
Of course she can. She's always been able to. And if she's gonna be able to use it at any time, it's just gonna be to save her life.
Yeah. I don't understand why. I mean, besides, sexism.
Right.
Like, yeah, I agree with the critique that it was a little, like, cheesy looking.
Yeah, it was just too stiff. It makes sense. You're in space, get frozy, but it's a little
stiff looking. But the fact that, and so when I was hearing people were upset about it, I thought it was just because that it wasn't the best looking VFX. But I'm like, oh, you're upset that Leia can use the Force even though she's been able to since...
Even though she's Luke's twin and should be able to do exactly the same stuff that he can. He's just been trained. You're upset about that? Cool.
Well, I mean, they were upset about Rey, Leia's had more training technically than Rey has. And Leia never formally trained, but Luke's been there and kind of explaining things to her that's in the Aftermath books and it's in Bloodline a bit, that Luke would at least teach her some stuff, nothing about rocks, but more about, like, an emotional balance. So, I don't know why people are upset about things, but let's fast forward to Rose and Finn meeting for the first time. Which I adore this scene because it's heartbreaking.
Yep.
Rose kind of has this hero worship of Finn. Finn is, in the meantime, just trying to abandon ship. And what I really like about Finn's story arc in this is that you do sort of see it from his perspective, because when you think about it from how Finn sees it, he just sees it as him trying to, like...
Go save Rey.
Go save his friend, and... he doesn't really care this much about this battle, and he just wants his friend to be safe. And from his perspective, you don't really see what's so wrong about that. And I think that's actually has a lot of carryover in today's, like, political climate, like the apathetic people of, like, what's happening today. And so Rose comes up to Finn, and she's mourning her sister, and I think this is such an important thing, is that Paige was the one who thought Finn was the hero and told Rose about what Finn did and why that made him a hero. And so clearly Rose gets to meet this guy that her sister at one point idolized.
Yeah.
We left the First Order, and my sister said, like, that's what a hero does, is stand up and not run away when things get hard. And so Paige has just sacrificed herself for these people. And to live up to these heroes that she had,
Which were Finn,
who at this point
is trying to run away because things are hard.
Who wouldn't do the same thing for them?
Yeah,
who wasn't even going to consider it. He was running away because things were hard.
Yeah,
and he wasn't about this. He was acting very selfishly. So Rose's heartbreak there is devastating because like her sister just died a true hero, and probably
won't get the recognition for it. Her aspiration turned out to be a fraud.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
really sad.
It's so
because I've seen some people wonder why Rose gets so upset so quickly. And I'm like, it's because the hero that not only she had, but her sister had, and her sister believed in, was
and
a
tried
fraud.
to and replicated.
Yeah. Like, who didn't run away when things got hard and sacrificed her life for the resistance. And turns out that hero wouldn't even sort of think about making the same sacrifices for them.
Yeah.
At this point in the movie. Obviously
That changes.
he changes. And that's why I actually do believe, like, Rose's love for him at that point. Because she sees that he would have died for them. And that's, like, a big thing. Like, I would have been like, I want to kiss you too now. I think I've talked about this before. One of my big flaws in The Last Jedi
is timing.
is that they put a time on it. They said 18 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could have just told me we're running out of time and I would have been fine with that. But they tell me 18 hours. I'm like, nope. Don't like it.
Because you're developing so much between these characters, and they're developing so much. And then you tell me that all happened in less than 2 days?
What did I do in the last 2 days? I can't think of any time my life has changed that significantly in 2 days. Of course, I'm not fighting in a war, but I just wish they hadn't put an exact time on it. And I mean, it could have been 18 hours, but just don't tell me it's 18 hours.
Yeah. It's easier for me to believe these character growths. But regardless, this is a movie. So.
Yeah. And so they go, and she's taking him into the brig.
She
She's
shacks
a traitor.
him, knocks him out.
Yep. Just imagine, like...
I'm laughing because I'm just now realizing that's the second time Finn's been branded a traitor.
Oh, well, it's so... Poor Finn.
Well, I mean, more than twice, but...
Well, it's kind of this nice parallel of he's a traitor to both sides to the people in it. You kind of don't want to... And that's kind of what apathy does. You're a traitor to both sides if you're apathetic to...
Oh, absolutely.
The cause, you know?
Yeah.
And...
Well, I support you guys, but I'm not gonna do
anything for it.
Yeah, you might as well be our enemy.
Yeah. It's also kind of reflect Finn in the beginning of Force Awakens. Basically, Rey sees him for the first time, and she's like, I want to beat the crap out of you, because this droid told me that you were wearing his master's jacket.
So you must be a thief.
So must be a thief. And then BB-8 even shocks him.
Yep.
And then Rose comes in and
Shacks him.
knocks him out, and she's going to take him to the brig. But they come up with a plan for Hyper, which I do like that they're bringing up, because this is, I feel like, a part of Finn's character that can be utilized more, is that Finn grew up with the First Order.
Yeah.
So he knows all this stuff.
He wasn't just a sanitation worker.
Yeah.
Like, they made it seem like in the first movie.
Yeah. They keep making that joke, which... I get it. It's
Yeah.
funny,
It's funny. But at least now they were like, oh no, he knows stuff about how the ships work and stuff too. So.
And in the book, like Before the Awakening, they do establish that he was a really good sharpshooter.
Yeah.
So I wish they kind of
Wish they would bring that up at
addressed
some point in time
that
too.
rather than he was just this lowly,
Yeah.
not good at anything
Yeah.
janitor.
The only way they allude to it in the first movie is that he's able to shoot down, like, TIE fighters.
He actually hit something?
Yeah, because he actually hits things.
Yeah, that he's the best stormtrooper there was. He hit one thing.
Yeah.
Basically, they come up with this plan, and Rose decides to give him a second chance, and they tell the plan to Poe, and I love little, so let's blow it up, Poe.
I like what you're thinking, but
No.
you weren't listening at all when Leia spoke to you last, were you? Okay.
No? No, I wasn't. I was just looking in a mirror.
In case you haven't noticed, I haven't learned my lesson yet, this movie.
In case you didn't know, I'm very handsome, and I can do whatever I want.
Behind her was a window where I could see myself, and I was, like, looking good even after getting slapped.
I was very distracted. I don't know what Leia told me. I missed it, though.
What? I'm Poe.
I'm Poe Dameron. This scene's really interesting because, without thinking too deep into it, Rose tries to chime in at a certain point because she's more knowledgeable, and Finn kind of like...
He's like, yeah.
Kind of jumps ahead of her,
He does.
and starts talking over her, even though she knows more on the subject.
But she super asserts
Literally,
herself right back.
yeah, and literally stands right in front of her, and she's just like...
She's like, fuck you, I'm back. And she pulls up the map. So, she does... I do like that they show her, like, I'm not gonna fucking let you talk over me.
It's a good way of drawing attention to the fact that this happens a lot to women, not only in cinema, but in real life.
Yep.
And they did it in a way that was pretty, like, obvious.
Yep.
and maybe enough to be
super relatable.
Yeah, it was pretty relatable. Maybe, hopefully, made people go, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Poe asks how they meet. Rose just says, just luck, I think.
I think she says just luck. And good
Like
luck or bad luck.
Yeah, and she
right?
says she doesn't know yet. And I think that's a really interesting good moment, because she could have easily turned him in at that moment.
But she's putting faith in him,
And
which is nice.
They shoot off into space, and they're gonna go do some technological shit that I didn't understand.
They're gonna go do some stuff.
They're gonna deactivate the tracker, and they won't notice until the biohexacrypt. Nope, the biohexacrypt was the security system.
Uh-huh.
They're not gonna notice until the ship does a scan thing every 6 minutes.
Uh-huh. By that time, it'll be too late, because
Yep.
we'll already be gone.
Duh, science.
Technology.
Yeah, it's Star Wars.
This is high fantasy, guys.
Mm-hmm. So now we're on a good old Canto bit.
Yeah, Canto
Bite.
Yep.
The beautiful world of Canto Bite.
Space Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to start off with on the Canto Bite shit?
No, besides just having my opinions on it. The first time I watched it, fine. Every other time I've watched it, I could do without it. It does set up a few things here and there, but I think it's... Personally, for me, it's like my least favorite scene in the entire movie.
And that's interesting, because I would say it's definitely not one of my favorite scenes, but I definitely enjoy it more each time rather than the first time.
I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah, I would flip on that.
Mm-hmm. But that's just me.
I do think there's a lot of interesting symbolism in Canto Bite. Basically, how you go to this entire city, how everyone is dressed in black and white. There's no gray tones in their outfits. It's either black or white, and they have silver and gold accents, which is basically just vanity.
Yep.
So I kind of really like this not so subtle world that they're in, and while not much happened in Canto Bite, and I would have been interested to see a more kind of comedic story or something hokey happening here. I didn't care for what necessarily the plot points in Canto Bite, but I did like the message that we came out of it.
Yeah,
with.
I liked the message that it portrays, but not how they portrayed it, if that makes sense to me. I wish it had been directed differently, because it seems so... I don't even want to say hokey. It's just boring to me. It's just boring.
I actually do like it, but so Rose and Finn, they're going there to find the Master Code Breaker. They're walking around, and Finn being the Finnish character that he is at this point,
Has no idea
has
about anything.
Nothing. He just thinks this world is so beautiful, and growing up in the Forest Order, he's never seen such luxury, and him thinking this world is just happy and great very much kind of reflects where Finn is as a human right now. And meanwhile, Rose kind of just gets upset that he's so into it and can't see the issues with it yet.
Yeah.
Because
it almost seems like willful ignorance, even though for Finn it's not, but it's very reflective of that.
Yeah, it's just glamour, but you're not looking deep enough. So they go and they're watching the horse races, which breaks my heart. It turns out that the Fathiers were Paige's favorite animal, and she never got to see them in real life.
Yep.
So breaks my heart.
I know.
And yeah, Finn just asks why Rose hates this place, because they have all these beautiful creatures and these really beautiful people, and everything just looks very fancy. And Rose is just take a deeper look. You think about what got these people to these places, and they look at the horse master, the Fathier master, who's beating the kids who are basically trying to be nice to their Fathiers, and
they're whipping the Fathiers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the little baby Han, Luke, and Leia are standing up, but they're just little kids, so they get knocked down, and see that these people have a shit ton of money. And what makes people a shit ton of money? War. And Rose is a little naive even at the point, because she's very, she fights for her cause, and she's very loyal to her cause, so she doesn't think that the Resistance would work with people
like
this, but these people, they'll work with whoever makes them money. And so you learn later on, when they meet DJ, that the people who make weapons, they make weapons for the good guys and bad guys, and they have enough money that they don't care who wins this war. They're going to be fine no matter what. So,
and they would love for the war to keep continuing,
because they're just making money by this war, and they don't have to take sides because it doesn't affect them. And I think, and that's where you see the darker side of Finn's point of view. And I think that's where Finn starts to see it too, where you see how this apathetic kind of point of view is not great. Even though Finn was doing it for reasons that us as the audience are following him as a protagonist is, oh no, he's just trying to protect Rey, and we like Rey too, so we want this.
So we can totally understand where he's coming from.
But then you go to a place like Canto Bight, where all of these people are technically were in some way approaching the war in the same way as Finn, where they weren't going to take a side. They're just thinking about themselves, and at a very basis level, it's very similar. And I think that's Finn can understand why Rose was so upset that he didn't care about the cause and he was going to leave the cause. They get arrested because they parked on the beach. BB-8 eats a lot of coins.
Does.
Mark Hamill is a goblin.
Oh, you're the one that feeds it to him?
Yep.
Didn't find that out until, like, just very recently.
Until our last podcast.
Oh, is that where you told me?
Yep.
There you go.
And they meet good old DJ, which stands for Don't Join.
Yeah?
Huh. You didn't know that?
Nope.
Alright. Yeah, it stands for Don't Join.
Interesting.
I think it says Don't Join on his hat. I think that's where it says it.
In space language?
In space language. In Arabish.
Ah, got it.
DJ reveals himself to be a codebreaker. Not the master codebreaker, but a codebreaker. And who knows if Maz enjoys sex with him as much as she enjoys sex with the...
Who knows? But we do know that DJ knows who Snoke is and knows where the throne room is.
So they're gonna go...
Get there.
Get there. Finn and Rose don't actually trust him right away. So, but he does get them out of the prison, so they're able to leave. And
DJ bonds with BB-8.
Then that's the most important bond in this whole movie.
Yeah.
That's actually my number one ship.
You know, that
god, DJ BB, how we can make that, like, DGBB.
Wouldn't it just be, like, DJ-8?
DJ-8, that's fine.
Yeah.
Fine, I guess. That's
BBJ. That sounds...
yeah.
I don't like it.
No, I'm into it. They go and escape on the Father Years, and they totally wreck the Casino City. And beforehand, Rose said something about wanting to be able to punch a hole through this beautiful town. And I think there's something to be said, because you can already tell there that Rose does see beauty in the chaos, and the beauty in the... like, in the corruption. In the corruption. And there's certain aspects that you can't look away from, and she even admits to it. And so with the Father Years, but clearly she's not there to wreck shit. She's not there to destroy the place. But they let the Father Years out, and obviously that's
just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened. But Rose doesn't consider it
a win
until all the Father Years are free. And so from the beginning of the end of her, like, first arc in this movie, you have the impression that she knows this destruction isn't worth it, this war isn't worth it, if we're not coming home with something that we love.
Yeah. Because she just lost something that...
If we're not coming home saving something.
Yeah. Because she just lost the thing that was most important to her. And she doesn't want to have to see other people go through that. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I don't want to say that Canto Bight is, like, a worthless scene at all, because we do see these beautiful
Better
things.
than the Rathtars.
Yeah, because we do see these beautiful moments peek out through it. Like, that's beautiful. When you think about, like, everything that she's gone through.
Mm-hmm. Because in a way, with what Poe just did, while they did definitely, they destroyed like the dreadnought and all that stuff. What did they save?
Nothing.
Basically, they thought they saved the fleet, but they really didn't.
They didn't. The fleet's still in danger.
So, yeah, what did they really come home with? And so we know that Rose really has this, like, differing point of view that actually makes her a great leader, that this war, this destruction, what we're fighting for isn't worth it if we're just destroying things. So, even though I hated this place and wanted to kick its ass, I got to do that, but also I freed all these animals.
Yeah.
Look at all of these nice critters.
Because when you think about it, yeah, they destroyed a dreadnought, but who's to say that they don't just have enough money to get another dreadnought?
And also, Snoke's supremacy is now following them.
Yeah.
Which is I assume way, way, way worse than
Yeah.
the dreadnought. I mean, I don't totally know.
I mean, we can gather that from when they're like, fuck that Snoke ship.
It's huge. It's
Yeah.
very big. So DJ comes and saves them. Rose is a good girl. I love Finn's line about, it felt good though to make them hurt. And Rose is like, well, I guess, but this is the part that felt good to me, was the saving the
people.
things.
Yeah.
And that's why Rose Tico is a good girl.
She's a very good
I
girl.
love her.
Even though I would be Finn in that situation. Like, yeah, we fucked the place up. They deserved it.
Well, yeah, you can understand where both people are coming from.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
And I think
I would like to think I would be Rose, but I'd be Finn.
Well, I mean, people are going to call the police on me according to Tumblr, but even, like, Kylo's point of view is, I know that it's wrong, but I get it.
Oh, no, I absolutely get it
I
right
am
now.
very angry with a lot of things. Clearly, it's not a great place to be at, but I think you're supposed to be able to see where both those characters are coming from and why they think they're doing a good thing or why they're happy or not happy about things that are going down. DJ comes in, saves them. BB-8. For money. Rose offers.
He alludes to it.
Yeah, he just
like, "Give me that."
alludes to the necklace, and this is what I love Rose, because Finn right away says, no, you can't, that means a lot, that necklace means a lot to her, you can't take that from her, and Rose is, just like how selfless she is, and basically she knows that her sister's memory kind of lives in her heart, and I think that's one of the messages of the movie, with the no one's really gone kind of motif, is that
I'm getting weepy. Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Is that people like Han and Paige is like,
even if you don't have physical reminders of it, because we see it even when Luke gives Leia the dice.
And the dice end up not being real.
Yeah, they disappear. And you're like, even if you don't have that, they'll still always be with you. And Rose knows that, and Leia knows that. And we see all these characters find that in this movie. And Rose is just like, fine.
Here you go. No questions asked. Like, she had one little hesitant thing, but she's like, this necklace isn't going to bring my sister back.
No, and this is what Paige would do.
Yep, there you go. A very selfless act, and DJ redeems himself a little bit by giving it back to her, being like, there you go.
I just needed to conduct some shit.
Conduct some shit.
Also, I betrayed you.
Also, I'm gonna apologize. I'm about to, like, fuck you over.
Like, really
I was gonna try to be better about swearing on the podcast, but never mind. DJ and Finn go and talk alone. Rose is not there for this discussion, which...
She's flying.
She's doing stuff, which I find this interesting that she's not part of this discussion, but at the same time, it's a good scene for Finn to have alone.
Yeah.
Basically, DJ goes and he's kind of going through the ship and taking all the money, and Finn's like, why are you doing this to your own ship?
Oh.
Because it's not your ship.
Oh.
And this is where DJ really drives home the whole Canto Bite, the point of that plot. He's just like, well, let's just go see who owns the ship. Will you feel so bad when we find out who owns the ship that I'm stealing from it? Let's see. Opens it up. And you're like, oh, yeah, you're right. They make weapons for the bad guys. Because Finn listened to Rose and believes Rose that these people only make weapons for the First Order.
Right.
And that's what Rose believes, so she's not lying, but Rose honestly believes that.
She just doesn't know.
And they're kind of flipping through it. And look, there's an X-wing there. They make weapons for the Resistance as well. And Finn sees how douchey that is. And Finn just had to take a step back and go, all right, in a different but similar way.
My apathy is kind of the same. Yeah.
It's very selfish, and you're only concerning about how you make it through this war.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking about anybody else, and his heart's in a very different place. But from the outside, surface level, it's very similar.
Apathy, no matter your reasons for it, is still apathy. Yeah.
So they make it to the good old First Order, and the iron. We need to talk about that shot, clearly. That was a very important shot. The iron.
Oh, okay.
That looks like the ship landing.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's a good shot.
It's a very cute shot.
They go in and they're gonna go deactivate the thing. They're really close to do it.
And then BB-8 stops them.
BB-8.
Why such a hater, BB-8?
And Phasma shows up, and Phasma was... I don't like being overly critical, but of my critiques, Phasma was a disappointment.
Yeah. Because you were so ready for the cool battle that they showed in the trailer, but then the trailer was basically the whole battle, and you were like, wait,
and you were kind of wondering why Phasma wasn't in the rest of the film at all.
Yeah.
There were plenty of scenes that Phasma could have just been, like, with Hux, and even that opening scene, she could have just been, I don't know, but...
I guess she is basically just, like, a ground, like, sergeant, so maybe she doesn't have any ranking in, like, political maneuvers, so maybe that's why she's not near Hux. I don't know.
She's the same ranking as Poe.
Yeah, but she's ground forces. I don't know.
I don't know
how the First Order works.
But it was... I was
like,
looking
when you're in
forward
space,
to
you got
more
nothing.
of this character, and...
No, me too.
She like, fake died the first time, and then died, I assume, for real this time.
I think so.
I
sure hope so. If she's alive after that, I'm gonna call bullshit.
Well, that's, like, the hard part, is because I love Gwendolyn Christie. I want Gwendolyn Christie... And Gwendolyn Christie loves being Phasma
I know.
so much.
It's the same thing with Ahsoka. Like, I don't want Phasma to be dead.
Yeah.
I don't want Ahsoka to be dead. But narratively, that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, death means nothing.
Yeah. Well, Ahsoka's a little bit different. Ahsoka's just like, I like the character, so I want her to be still alive. Phasma's like, I like Gwendolyn Christie, so I want her to continue going press tours.
Absolutely.
Because she's hysterical.
She's a gem.
If she ever did come back, she would probably be like a robot. Like a cyborg.
She should just be a background. Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because there was a rumor deleted scene where Finn before Phasma comes in, tries saying something to the troopers about, yo, the First Order sucks.
Yeah.
You're fighting for the wrong thing. They're lying to you. They're brainwashing you. And which is a scene I've wanted since the first time I saw The Force Awakens.
I know.
And I'm so
Me too.
bitter that it was taken out, and I'm hoping it was only taken out because
next time he's gonna do it in this next movie, and it's gonna work.
And it's because that's gonna be Finn's arc for Episode 9.
That's what I hope.
That's what I still think they could have introduced it in this one.
Yeah.
But
at least you could have introduced it, and people could, like, troopers could have been whispering about it since then.
It could have been kind of like a growing Mockingjay kind of force. Because that's what I want so badly for Finn's character. It would have been so good, and really kind of given him, like, the step one of his hero moment of trying to save people, but...
Yeah. Would have been really good.
So we'll see why that was taken out, but... I am optimistic that it was removed because it's going to be a huge plotline in 9, and they didn't want to, like,
steal the
sully that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, but they have this, they get caught, and DJ turns against them, and that's the point where they call him a snake, and that they like the snakes in this movie.
I mean, it's the way that you can cuss without cussing.
Yep. And I do love that when Kylo, when he's in the silencer, and Hux calls him back and says that basically he has to come back to the ship because they can't track him from that far away, and Kylo basically just says "fuck" under his breath, and but you don't hear it. You just kind of see him mouth "fuck," and like, oh.
Well, they can just be like, he said fine.
He said "criff." That's fine. That's just a space swear.
Yep.
Yeah, DJ in Finnegan fully recognizes that, okay, he's the person that doesn't take sides to, like, an extreme, that he just does whatever benefits him. And at this point, just being brought home again and again.
That apathy.
And again, that this apathy, that this selfishness is awful. And it's just being punched home to Finn, so you really see that when he makes that sacrifice, what a big change that is.
Yeah.
And I forgot exactly what the line is, but when DJ's talking to, like, they'll blow you up today, you'll blow them up tomorrow. It's just business, kid. And
Finn says something like, you'll regret it or I'll change your mind or something like that, doesn't he?
He just says it's not. He says something refuting that, and DJ's like, maybe. I don't know. Like, you might be right. Maybe there is a good side, but right now he doesn't see it. Characters like DJ don't see it. They just see it. This is a war. They don't see the good sides and bad sides. Hence the don't join. That's why it's his name. And then things blow up. There's a really anticlimactic fight with Phasma.
BB's there.
BB's there. BB just murders.
BB's kill count this movie? Ridiculous,
man. BB, like, one of
only
my favorite
person that
Tumblr
tops
posts
it.
is like The Last Jedi is about everyone fucking up except for BB having the best day ever because he just loves murder.
Yep.
And, yeah. Boop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess Holdo. Yeah, Holdo has the biggest death count.
Absolutely.
My girl Holdo.
The biggest murder of them all.
Well,
I mean,
we technically don't know how many people were able to escape. We don't know. This is a part of.
We know that Rey was.
Yep. Rey lived. Good job, Rey. We know Kylo made it out. Hux
made it out.
It's good. Where's Mitaka? I think it was confirmed that Mitaka died in Starkiller, but you're gonna ask who Mitaka is. The little boy that's like, the first movie, not the little boy, but he's the one who Kylo chokes out in the first movie. For being like, the droid got away with a girl. And it's like, what girl? That's Mitaka.
Got it.
So, yeah, the Resistance, they all make it back to... Now they're on Crate.
And then they gotta fight a big drill thing.
I guess it's sort of a drill.
Yeah, it's like a light drill.
Plasma drill.
Or like a force drill, but not like the force.
It's a Kyber drill, technically, if it's made from the Death Star technology.
Oh. Well, didn't even think about that.
This is, because this is the part that's really interesting. At this point, the First Order has been seriously decimated as well.
I guess it's more like a cannon, sorry.
Yeah, it is literally a cannon. That's
right.
what they call it. But, which makes it even all the more sad that no one comes and helps the Resistance. Because there's not that many people here.
Nope.
This is a very small-scale battle.
Did they number how many people it was? It wasn't 35, was it? Where am I getting 35? Wasn't that small, was it?
The First Order?
No.
Okay, so there was 400 people in the Resistance. There was 30 transport pods. And by the time the transport pods landed, I think there was maybe 8 of them. And that was another one of my...
Oh my god.
Issues that I had with the...
Just show some of them miss!
That's all you had to do.
Because you were shooting them down so fast.
The scene when they're shooting down the transport pods happened so quickly that all of them would have been decimated in that time period. But yeah, we talked about this probably our third or fourth viewing.
Yeah.
Is that easily could have been saw if you see some of the shoots missing. Yeah. So you're like, all right, there's a lot of shots that are just missing in the meantime.
They're just missing because they're just toying with them because they know that they have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or that they're just stormtroopers and suck.
True. Either one is totally acceptable.
That's that in the 18 hours.
Put on the new guys who haven't had any training yet.
Yeah, they just
Throw
let
'em
them pew, pew, pew. And you just see a couple of shots miss sometimes.
Mhm.
And so they're on good old Crate. And Finn and Rose, they land on there, and Poe is like, alright, good, glad you guys are safe, but where the fuck is BB-8?
Where is my BB?
And they actually have, like, the cutest reunion.
They do. That's the real relationship of this movie.
The forehead touch is so good.
The belly scratch and the forehead touch, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely perfect.
And
best acting whole movie. Sorry.
see, this is where we know Poe has learned something, but it's not vocally said to the degree I would have loved it to.
Yeah.
I would have really liked Poe to maybe even acknowledge it to Rose, because it's kind of Poe's fault that Paige died. And yeah, we talked about this in our like more Holdo discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Poe and Holdo's talk is. It's in our episode 2 weeks ago, so in case you're a little confused about that, it's in there. And yeah, I would have just, I know that you know he learned something, but
we should have just been driven home a little bit more, especially for
also Leia to let him make the decisions like that. Because when Poe's like, let's go follow these things, and Leia's like, you listen to him.
Like why?
What?
Why?
I know you saw him turn around. I don't know. It's one of those things that it's in the movie, but I would have liked to see Poe be punished a little bit more than he was.
Because it just kind of seemed like he got rewarded.
Yeah.
At every turn.
For
basically
getting a lot of people killed because he can't listen to authority.
Yeah.
But maybe he learned from Holdo, who was able to make the hard sacrifices for her team, even though none of that was technically her faults.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But going forward, Resistance comes in.
Yeah.
They're in their little speed shooters, and this is where I'll let you talk about it, because you were the one that actually got into this fight with the guns.
Yeah. Okay. So, got into a fight over New Year's with a friend who was like, well, what were they even gonna do? What was their plan? The plan was always to suicide in, and not Paige, I'm sorry, and Rose ruins that for Finn. Didn't that seem weird to you? And I was like, the plan was not to suicide in, the plan was to shoot it down, you just had to wait till you get into range. And he was like, no, the plan was always, those things didn't even have guns on it. And I was like, yeah, they do. You can see them in the movie. When Finn gets into the actual, like, tractor beamy thing, you can see his gun start to melt away. He was like, no, it wasn't obvious that those were guns. They never said it.
Which they do. Like, there at one point when they're still going in and Poe first starts turning people around, Finn goes, no, I'm staying on track, like, my guns are hot. Literally says that his guns are ready to fire.
Yeah.
So, it is, like, one line, but you can't argue that it's not there.
Yeah. And also, did you really think their plan was always just to go in and suicide bomb this? That would be totally counterintuitive to everything we've learned this entire journey.
What is that?
Like, are you kidding me?
Poe learns absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Poe learns nothing, Finn learns nothing, and Rose is like, this is what my sister did, so we're gonna do it too. No. No.
Yeah, that's an argument that upsets me, because, like, even if you missed the line where Finn mentions they have guns and they're ready to shoot,
and you also missed them showing the guns melting.
Yeah.
You should. They've said, I mean, they haven't said up to this point. Rose doesn't have her line yet, but they've shown, like, destruction for the sake of destruction means nothing. People dying just to blow things up means nothing.
And, like,
why would they go and do it
again? Leading this mission again?
Yeah.
For him to basically go into leading this mission,
he's like, all right, mission?
Thinking it was a suicide run?
Yeah.
That makes no sense for this arc whatsoever, and for Leia to let him do it.
Yeah.
He's like, she's distracted with Luke right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go in.
Eye roll. Got into the biggest heated argument about it.
You see the guns melt.
Yeah.
You see the point in the film where Finn is like, oh, I guess this is a suicide run.
Yeah.
Because his guns melt.
Yes. And he's like, all right, now I'm going to do the ultimate sacrifice. This is what I've learned.
That I am picking my side. And I am going to die for my side so these people can live.
Yeah.
And imagine thinking that Finn should have died and Rose shouldn't have had her hero moment. Just imagine
Because Finn
thinking
still
that.
has his hero moment. That's still a hero moment. He just didn't die.
Yeah.
They both just got to have hero moments.
Yep.
And we got to keep the characters.
Exactly. You got to see Finn was willing to make the sacrifice. You got to see Finn choose a side and realize that fighting for a side is more important. And Rose got to fight for what she believes in, which is always
saving people.
which is saving people, which is saving the things that she loves, and she gives them a little smooch. And because like it's not like the most heated smooch. People are like,
No.
there was no heat in it. I'm like, well, it's because it's a really innocent thing.
Yeah, it's really innocent, and also she's very hurt.
She's very hurt, and it's more of a, you were willing to die for us.
Yeah.
Like, when I met you, you were
A selfish boy.
You were wanting to get the hell out of Dodge, and my sister had just died protecting us, and and now you're willing to do the same thing. And so you are the hero that my sister thought you were. And, like, that's cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. I love it.
So, and then Finn drags her unconscious body. I was so afraid Rose was going to die.
Me too.
I was like,
don't you dare.
There were a lot of rumors that Rose died in this movie.
I think it's just because people saw her owied.
Because back in the good old days, it was leaked that Rey died in The Force Awakens.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because people saw her, like, unconscious in the snow scene.
Uh-huh.
So they just like, oh,
She's dead.
Rey died.
Yeah, okay, guys.
Alright. But I guess at that point in the advertising, they were super keeping Rey a secret.
That's
so you
true.
didn't really know how important her character... You didn't know that she was, like, the story was told from her point of view. But
Yeah.
that was their mistake in the advertising point, but whatever. Yeah, so they drag each other back. Luke and Kylo have their
Fight.
fight,
But I mean, that's basically the end of the Resistance storyline.
basically, until they find Rey, and they all hug, and it's cute,
And it's cute.
and
And Finn's like, let me get a blankie for
Rose.
because she hurt.
and
Tuck, tuck. Tucks her in, and it's cute.
and it is really cute. Well, Kelly Marie Tran's just so cute.
She's very cute.
I love her. And yeah, again, we talked about it, like, I think Leia was a little too easy with, like, giving Poe back leadership. Without Poe, like, really having a moment of punishment. Just me personally. You do see that he's learned.
Yeah.
But
I still think there should have been...
But you don't feel like he feels bad about it yet.
Yeah, that's it. So I hope that he has some sort of PTSD about it or something about it next movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or even just a line where he's like, no, we don't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Where they're like, well, we'll just go in guns blazing. And he's like, no, we don't do that anymore. That's how people get killed. Something like that.
Yeah.
Just a throwaway line where I'm like, all right, boys learned.
The boy learned something,
Okay.
I guess.
Fine.
And so yeah, that's the Resistance arc. And I feel like, besides Poe and Holdo, which we talked about. I keep talking about it, but we talked about that 2 weeks
talked
ago.
about it
I just don't want people to think that we ignored it. In short, though, just, hey, Holdo did everything correct when it comes to communicating with a person who was recently demoted for not listening to leadership.
Yeah.
There was no part of her that should have told him that
should
plan.
have trusted him.
Because the
or
plan
told him.
involved maximum secrecy, because
If
also,
someone else heard.
Which guess what? They did, and that's how the First Order found the ships.
And that's how everyone died.
Yeah. It was expecting... Holdo was doing all the preventative action to stop the things from happening, but they happened anyway.
Yep.
Which is kind of what happens to all the Force-sensitive kids in their visions. That they keep going, hey, let's stop all these things from happening in our Force visions.
That's true.
And then, oh crap, they happened anyway.
Ah, shit.
Shit, man. God. But yeah, anything else you want to bring up with the good old Resistance?
This might sound like I'm like tooting our own horns, but like after having this discussion, I'm more okay with the B plot than I was before having this discussion with you. Because, like, while I knew that all those things narratively were there, the more, now that we've dived, like, really deep into it, I'm like, you do learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think most of the audience grabbed that, because even a lot of it goes over my head.
B-plot definitely is a multi-view kind of plot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it definitely takes more watches to grasp, because the A-plot's a little more
because the only
vivid.
thing you get out of B-plot after the first time you see it is, well, that was a waste of time because all those people died.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And you just kind of get that the only lesson that was learned was failure.
Yeah.
And which is not a bad lesson in accepting
all.
failure, but there's actually a lot more in it.
It's just a huge character journey,
mm-hmm.
which is nice.
You know,
but in a way of failures, I think just so much because I'm so afraid of failure, it's harder for me to see all the things that they learned from it. So that's like a personal bias.
Yeah.
So after having the discussion, I feel better about B-plot.
There you go. Come see
And we hope you have too, audience. This was the Reading Rainbow. I don't know, that seemed very PSA.
It did, actually. But thank you again for listening to another episode of Who Talks First. I'm sure we'll talk about all of these subjects again more in the future when I actually feel like taking notes. And this was more just an open forum.
Yeah, and if there's anything
and a drawing of an elf boy.
I like that elf boy. If there's any other things that we missed that you guys were like, I was really hoping you guys would talk about this, just tweet at us.
Oh yeah, for sure, because I'm sure we missed something.
Oh, absolutely.
I literally lie in bed every night just thinking about, oh my god, this meant so much, and I forget about it always. I could type it down.
But if you typed it down, you would never sleep.
No.
You would just be on the computer all night with your brain racing.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes if you want to, and, yeah, we'll see you next week for our solo discussion. The podcast we'll see when you can record, because the podcast might come a little bit earlier in the week than usual, just because we want to talk about the trailer, but maybe not, because maybe I won't care that much. So, thank you for listening. I'm CT.
I'm Solo.